Welcome to this life-changing message. You are not here by chance. You are here because deep inside you feel something needs to change. You have tried to stay motivated. You have tried to build strong habits. You watched videos, read quotes, and made plans. Yet you still feel stuck, still overthinking, still delaying action, still blocking your own progress. You may have wondered if something is wrong with you. You may have asked why you slow down your own success. You may ask why what to do, yet do not act. Let me share a truth few people explain clearly. It was not fully taught in school. It was not fully taught in college. It was not fully taught at home. The challenge is not your willpower. It is not your motivation. It is your brain. Your brain can be the obstacle and also the answer. Your brain is not lazy. Your brain is not damaged. It performs exactly as it was trained to perform. That training may have come from difficult events. It may have come from negative influences. It may have come from repeated fearful thoughts. It may have come from constant distractions. It may have come from repeated patterns. Your brain guides most of your life through the subconscious mind. Research in psychology shows much behavior is automatic. Only a small part of your day is directed by conscious goals. The rest follows stored mental programs. Those programs were shaped by your past experiences. They were not designed by your future vision. You may say you want to wake up early. You may say you want to grow a business. You may say you want success. Yet if your brain was trained for comfort and fear, it resists change. That is why motivation fades quickly. That is why you keep restarting. Your mind is running on an old system. You were taught to brush your teeth. You were taught mathematics. You were taught to follow rules. But you were rarely taught how to train your mind. Few people are shown how to guide their thoughts. Few people are taught how to reshape self-talk. Few people are trained to build strong mental resilience. You may be intelligent and talented, yet you may still feel stuck. That is because your mind runs on earlier programming. When you update that programming, your results improve. Today marks a new beginning. In this message, I will share 9 powerful mental tools. These tools are grounded in psychology and neuroscience. Successful people apply them consistently. They train their minds to think and act with intention. You can learn to do the same step by step. This is not just content to watch. It is guidance to experience. Each moment is designed to strengthen your thinking. As you listen, you also build your English skills. You learn new words and think in English. Let us begin. Tool 1 is mind override. If you do not guide your thoughts, they guide you. Mind override means interrupting automatic thoughts. It means replacing them with intentional commands. It breaks mental autopilot. It stops negative spirals early. It helps you lead your mind with awareness. Many people never override their thoughts. They simply accept them. They believe every fearful idea. They follow every urge to delay. They allow distractions to win. Imagine your alarm rings in the morning. Your mind suggests 10 more minutes of sleep. In that moment, you choose whether to act or delay. If you follow delay repeatedly, it becomes a pattern. Now imagine this repeated many times daily. You plan to work, but you check social media first. You plan to exercise, but you plan to exercise, but you postpone one day. You plan to study, but you say tomorrow. Each choice teaches your brain what is normal. Repeated choices shape habits. Habits shape character. Character shapes direction. Mind override follows one rule. The first thought is automatic. The second thought is chosen. Second thought is chosen. You may not control the first reaction. You can always choose the response. When your mind says, I cannot do this, you reply, I will learn how to do this. When your mind says, I am not ready, you reply, I am growing into the person I need to become. I'll never change. You override it with, I'm not there yet, but I'm not staying here. This is not lying to yourself. This is training your brain to serve your future, not your fear. Let us look at a real-life example. There was a young athlete named Brandon who dreamed of going pro. Every day he trained at 5:00 a.m. before school. One winter morning, the temperature dropped below freezing. He felt tired, hungry, and sleepy. His body ached from hard practice. His mind whispered, sleep, rest, skip today, you earned it. But he did not argue. He did not negotiate. He softly said one sentence, we do not skip greatness. He left his bed. He trained in the cold. That override became a turning point in his life. Years later, Brandon shared a lesson. That early morning choice trained his brain. He learned that mission comes before mood. He said, winners do not obey the first thought. They override it with purpose. Here's the final truth of this weapon. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are not your impulses. You are the commander of your mind when you choose to be. If you want to truly win in life, master mind override. A weak mind listens to itself. A strong mind speaks to itself and follows clear orders. This is your first weapon. Master it and your brain will work with you. Weapon 2 is repetition ritual. You do not become what you do once. You become what you repeat daily. What is repetition ritual? It is a mental method that reshapes your brain. It works through the proven science of neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to rewire itself through repeated action. Your brain is not fixed. It is not permanent. It changes based on what you repeat again and again. The challenge is that many people repeat unhelpful patterns. They repeat negative self-talk. They scroll social media for hours. They complain and compare. They overthink. They quit and restart. They tell themselves, I will never change. Each repetition teaches the brain to accept that story. Repetition is not just habit. Repetition shapes identity. What you repeat becomes part of who you are. That is why successful people build rituals. A ritual is stronger than a simple routine. It is non-negotiable. It programs the brain for progress. Your brain contains billions of cells called neurons. Neurons communicate through electrical signals. The more you repeat a thought or action, the stronger the neural link becomes. It is like a path in a forest. The more you walk it, the clearer it grows. If you stop walking it, the path slowly fades. Ask yourself what path you walk daily in your mind. Is it a path of fear? Is it a path of doubt? Is it a path of delay? If so, your brain has made that route easy to follow. That is why you return to it automatically. The good news is repetition can build a new path. You can create new highways in your brain, highways of courage, highways of discipline, highways of belief and focus. But you must repeat them daily without excuse. Motivation is a spark. Repetition is a steady fire. Motivation can fade. Repetition builds lasting strength. Motivation often comes from outside. Repetition grows from within. Let me be clear. What you do on your hardest day matters deeply. That is when repetition strengthens your wiring the most. Anyone can feel motivated for one day. Winners repeat key actions every single day. They act whether they feel ready or not. That is why discipline outperforms desire. That is why ritual is stronger than inspiration. Repetition is the quiet weapon everyone needs. Let me share a powerful example from modern sports history. Kobe Bryant is remembered as one of basketball's greatest players. He had natural talent. Yet talent alone did not define him. What made him exceptional was repetition. He followed a strict ritual. He often woke at 4:00 a.m. to practice. Not once a week. Not only when he felt strong, he practiced every single day. He shot the same move thousands of times. He repeated the same drills for hours. He trained longer than most competitors. Coaches once asked why he repeated mastered drills. He explained that repetition trained more than his body. I am programming my brain. My mind does not need to overthink. It does not need to pause in pressure. When the moment arrives, my body already knows the move. Ritual prepares the response in advance. That is the power of repetition. It reduces fear. It quiets doubt. It builds automatic excellence. Let us make this practical and simple. You do not need to wake at 4 a.m. You need clear non-negotiables. A repetition ritual is simple and steady. When done daily, it rewires the brain over time. For example, read 10 minutes every morning. That trains your brain to learn daily. Write the sentence, I am becoming unstoppable 10 times a day. That strengthens self-belief. Practice English sentences each evening. That builds fluency step by step. Speak your vision aloud in the mirror. That reshapes identity. Take a 20-minute walk without your phone. That develops calmness and clarity. The specific action is less important. Consistency is what truly matters. Repeat it with strong discipline. Not only when you feel inspired, not only when life feels smooth, especially when the day feels challenging. That is when the brain learns the most. Remember this clearly. The goal of repetition is not perfection. The goal is transformation. You are not repeating to be flawless. You are repeating to become stronger. You are repeating to become focused. You are repeating to become someone who keeps going. You already repeat something daily. The real question is this: is your repetition building you, or is it limiting your growth? Repetition ritual gives you quiet control. Day by day, it reshapes your direction. No noise, no drama. Just intentional action repeated with purpose. One day, people may ask how you changed. They may ask what helped you become so focused and confident. You will smile gently. They did not see the thousands of silent repetitions. They did not see the work done in private moments, but your brain recorded every effort. Your future responded to it. Your life reflected it. You do not rise only to your goals. You settle at the level of your rituals. Train your brain through repetition. It will begin to support your future. This is your second mental tool. Use it with intention. Repeat it until your mind works in your favor. You will not return to old patterns. Now let us explore weapon 3, pain conditioning. When you avoid difficulty, you also avoid growth. Challenge is the training ground of the mind. What is pain conditioning? It is a mental practice used by disciplined individuals. It is built on a clear truth. The brain grows through challenge, not comfort. Growth comes from facing fear calmly. Growth comes from choosing what is difficult repeatedly. Conditioning means training a system to perform under pressure. Physical and emotional strain can strengthen mental capacity. When handled wisely, challenge builds resilience. Here is an honest observation. Many people want progress. Few welcome the effort required. They want confidence, yet avoid rejection. They want success, yet avoid risk. They want discipline, yet avoid discomfort. They want change, yet avoid the rebuilding phase. Comfort can feel pleasant, yet too much comfort weakens mental endurance. Pain conditioning reverses that pattern. It teaches the brain to welcome challenge. It teaches you to say, this effort is making me stronger. There is also biology behind this. When you choose a hard task voluntarily, dopamine rises after effort. It does not rise before the action. This means your brain learns to value earned reward. It learns to enjoy growth instead of escape. Disciplined people train their brains to feel rewarded after effort. Others often seek quick relief. The difference is in training. Pain conditioning also strengthens emotional resilience. It supports better decision-making under stress. When you move through discomfort, you reshape your brain. You become steadier and stronger over time. Consider a powerful real example. David Goggins transformed his life through extreme discipline. He later became a member of the United States Navy SEALs. He also became an ultramarathon runner and motivational speaker. His progress came from intense training and mental conditioning. In his memoir, Can't Hurt Me, he explains his mindset. He chose demanding physical challenges to strengthen his mind. He pushed through long races and exhausting training sessions. Each effort expanded his mental limits. He once described running a 100-mile race. His body was under extreme strain, yet he focused on finishing step by step. He trained his mind to stay committed under pressure. Most people would have stopped, but he continued. Why did he continue? Because he trained his brain to see pain not as a stop sign, but as a signal to rise. That is pain conditioning. You do not need to run 100 miles. You do not need extreme actions, but you do need to choose discomfort on purpose. Pain conditioning grows through small daily choices. Take a cold shower to train your response to discomfort. Say no to instant pleasure to build self-control. Work even when tired to stretch mental limits. Finish tasks even when they feel boring to build endurance. Face what you fear to expand emotional strength. Each time you step toward pain instead of away from it, your brain notices. It says this person is becoming strong. This person stays steady. This person is different. Here is what many people never understand. Pain itself does not stop you. Fear of pain is what stops you. When you train with discomfort, you reduce that fear. You teach your brain that you can handle challenges. You can handle rejection. You can handle setbacks. You can handle exhaustion. And you can still move forward. That belief, built through experience, makes you mentally strong. Growth does not come only from comfort. Growth comes from facing challenge with purpose. Pain is not your enemy. Pain can be your trainer. Each time you step into it with awareness, you grow stronger. You become someone who stands firm and achieves results. Use pain conditioning wisely. Too much comfort weakens discipline. Controlled challenge builds resilience. Now let us explore weapon 4, the identity hack. You do not rise only to the level of your goals. You rise to the level of who you believe you are. What is an identity hack? It is the process of rewriting the inner script in your mind. The script that says, this is who I am. This is what I deserve. This is what is possible for me. Every decision you make is shaped by identity. Every habit you build reflects identity. Every belief you carry grows from identity, not goals. Your identity is your mental operating system. If it says I avoid effort, no productivity system will help. If it says I cannot learn, no course will feel effective. If it says I stop easily, your actions will follow that pattern. If it says success is not for me, you will limit yourself. But when you rewrite that identity, change begins. You unlock a stronger version of yourself. one who acts with confidence, one who believes in growth, one who pursues goals that once felt distant. Why do many people stay in old identities? Because they do not realize identity was programmed. It may come from childhood criticism. It may come from school struggles. It may come from unhealthy relationships. It may come from social judgment. It may come from past mistakes. It may come from repeated words that felt true over time. Sometimes people begin to defend their limits. They say that is just how I am. They say I am not a morning person. They say I have always been this way. They say I lack confidence. That is not permanent truth. That is identity holding them in the past. Psychology describes a concept called self-schema. It is the blueprint the brain uses to define itself. Your brain works daily to match behavior with identity. If your self is weak, your actions reflect weakness. If your self is unworthy, you may avoid opportunities. If your self is a failure, you may expect defeat. But the opposite is also true. When you change identity, actions begin to change. Consider Muhammad Ali. He declared, "I am the greatest," before the world agreed. He repeated that belief until it shaped his mindset. Once his brain accepted it, his discipline followed. His preparation and talent aligned with that identity. That is the power of identity hack. You speak it before you fully become it. You act like it before you feel ready. You show up as that version of yourself. Over time, reality adjusts. How can you use identity hack daily? First, define the identity you want. Do not only say, "I want success." Say, "I am the person who finishes what I start." Say, "I am focused, calm, and capable." Say, "I lead my life with intention." Repeat these words aloud morning and night. Repeat them whenever you feel uncertain. Act in alignment even if it feels new. Your actions do not need to be perfect. They need to reflect your new identity.